We're going to send up a Star Cluster. It's a home-built rocket, foam nose cone, self-rolled tubed, cardboard fins. I like to do a standoff so that the launch rod doesn't rub against the body. And of course the cluster rocket, which means it's got two in it. We haven't tried that before, so this is something new for us. And they are minis, A10 3Ts, so we don't know and don't want to get a whole bunch of height for our first experimental one, and it'll come back on a 12-inch chute.
And he's healthy. That's what he said. You were keeping him healthy.
Right.
So, and he has a lawyer. So, he needs good care of the lawyer. Because he actually is a lawyer.
Want to push the nose cone down just a little bit? I can see this white. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Both clusters ignited, going up nice and straight. There's the chute. Still a little sticky, but oh, wrapped around the body. But otherwise, nice shot. 2, 1, launch. There you go. So to start with our mini cluster, we made the engine mounts first because that's the most sophisticated part. We start with 2 engines. We use expended Endridge cartridges to give us the size and shape when we wrap them up in cardstock. And then we glue the 2 engines together on a level surface so that the mounts themselves are nice and squared up. And then we'll fill in the gap between the 2 tubes with some tissue paper and some glue. And then we will chop the ends off of an expended mini engine and use that as the blocks at the tops of the tubes. And then now we have to advance to figuring out a mount for the engine inside the body tube. So we take a strip of cardstock, we wrap it up inside the body tube so that we know it fits, use some tape to hold it together, and then we start fiddling to mount the engine mounts themselves inside of this body tube mount. Once we've got everything all squared up, we're going to fill in the gap around the engine mounts to the round tube with tissue paper and glue. And here we're doing that now. And it comes out as a pretty strong little mount that is airtight enough-ish at least so that the ejection tubes charges don't blast back out. Then we fill in some glue at the end of the body tube and shove the entire engine mount up there. I used some expended cartridges to make sure that everything fit. Here we're getting some fins together. We already have built this rocket before. There's some video of it here on the channel, so we're not going to redesign anything else. The sophistication is going to be simply with the engine mount itself. Making the fins and whatnot is something we've already done, and we're mounting them. It's a 3 fin rocket, and now we're putting on the launch lug on a standoff. And now we're going to make up a nose cone out of in commercial insulation foam. Here we show what happens if we just spray paint onto that stuff. Of course, it dissolves, so you have to coat it with glue first. Good little tip. And you can see once we do that it holds the paint fairly well. So we glue some blocks together. You have to kind of get it really, really dry. And then we're going to shape the nose cone a little at a time to fit into our rocket and be ready to take paint once we've got it all shaped up. It's a kind of a tedious process, and it does make a lot of dust, so in some cases you may want to do it outside. Once you got the nose cone together, of course, we've already seen, cover it with glue. Leave yourself a little spacer at the bottom so that you can put some weights in there if you need to, some plasticine or some clay, and then we painted up our star cluster. Here's our 2 engines, and we are ready for a launch. Thanks for watching.